Good morning, Kalimera. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation for this esteemed event. It's an honor to stand before you today to discuss topic of importance in today's rapidly evolving defense landscape. Now, I have my people in my office, they have prepared a very good presentation. But the most of the part of the presentation that has to do with the general environment, with the Greek industry, it has been covered by the previous speaker. So I thought I will take the liberty to try to combine what the previous speaker said, and in addition to that, to project in the future what we are thinking and what we are trying to do in Greece. Okay, now, as a person, I have started as an entrepreneur. I created the biggest spin-off company that became listed and is still one of the biggest companies in Greece. And also, I went to the other side and I became president of the Greek Federation of IT and telecommunication industries of SEPE. So I was there and I know the problem of the industry sector in our country. So trying to combine this experience, I think that I always worry. I always had a question. Why the Greek defense forces, they don't have an active role creating the innovation ecosystem in Greece? And taking the example in United States, I have been working, I'm an old person, so I have been working with Vinton Cerf when we try at that point at DARPA to interconnect CUNY and Yale. So I was for the first person that I was working in a military project that became the most successful civilian project, which is internet that everybody of us use in our life. At the same time, I have been with team members Lee at CERN. So I have seen and I met the person that developed World Wide Web, which is one of the most useful tool that everybody of us use even today. So you see, defense forces, academic institutions, and industries. This is the three main players that has to work together in order to achieve the result that we would like to achieve. Now, I call you, everybody, to invest in the Greek paradox. We do have a Greek paradox. Why? If you see from one side, we are fifth on horizon, where we are seventh in EDF, and according to our GDP, it's extremely high score, high result. That means we do have the people with a brain. Now, if you see the commercialization effect, what we do with all this research, if we create product, we don't create product. So this is, I call Greek paradox, and it's a problem, but at the same time, it's an extremely important opportunity. And this opportunity is at a national interest. And I think it will be extremely important, all the players to work together in order to create what we dream, a very effective defense forces, that they are the main factor of innovation in Greece. And let me tell you a couple of words about the initial startup subsystem in Greece. I was working with EIF, and we created the first Jeremy funds. That was extremely important, creating the Greek ecosystem of startup ecosystem. But just creating startup ecosystem, startup companies, it's not the solution, because they go to the seed level 1 or they go to seed level B, and as long as they go there, they get investment, and a big company from abroad bought them. So it's extremely important to do that, to create startups, but on the other side, we have to create the clustering effect that happens in all the Europe. Clustering effect happens, for example, in France, they have Toulouse, in Toulouse that they have the aerospace, and at the same time, they do have Grenoble, that is the electronics. So we have to bring together the companies, the startups, the research center, and the most important, the operation needs of the defense forces, and trying to use this in order to give solution to that needs and create product and services. I think that this Greek paradox, it's extremely important to solve it, and it gives us the fundamentals, because at the end of the day, what is important today? The human factor. If you see all the European indexes on the human factor, we are well advanced as a country. Where we're not advanced is the commercialization, is to create product and services using that knowledge of our people. Now, I think Mr. Dendias has the very good dream, and I fully share that dream, how we're going to proceed. So, as a development bank, we have been working together in order to find ways to establish that and to create a new entity, which is the Hellenic Innovation Center. I mean, we call it ELKAK in the Greek. It's in the parliament. I hope it's going to be voted by all the parties. As he said, it's not a good period before the election, but I hope that because it's a national interest, everybody is going to support it at the end. Now, what this organization is going to do? First, it's going to try to bring together people from the military, because they do know their needs, bring from the academia, bring people from the industry, and working together in order to create a result. And, you know, I know that our political systems, and not only our political system, all the political system, they do want quick wins, which is important. But always, when you want to build a building, a complex of buildings, you have to put the foundation and eventually to build the last level. So I think it's important to build the foundation and find ways to utilize the knowledge and the expertise in order to have quick wins. Now, how that it will going to happen? It's going to happen in two directions. The first direction, according to the law, and I hope it's going to be voted, we are going to have a fund. The fund is going to make calls, and with this call, we are going to subcontract certain needs that the defense forces have in order to start to create product and services. The ideal, it's going to be a consortium of companies, big companies, small companies, and also research centers and startups. So this is the objective, to subcontract in order to give solution. We are not going, I mean, in Greece, usually when we do a public procurement, we try to describe very extensively how many speed, in what speed, in what very detailed tool we're going to build and to create something. And we forget to describe what we want to create. So we're going to start the other way around. We're going to start to say what we do want to create, and then say to the people, to the industry, because they are much better of us, find the best way, just achieve the objective. So this one, I hope it will be our main driver, and it will change the way of thinking, the way of acting in order to produce the final result. At the same time, we're going to have an equity part in order to help, and that we're going to do it with the Minister of Finance, in order to help and to inject equity in connection with the venture capitals to the companies that they want to proceed and going to the next day. Why this combination is extremely important? It's extremely important because from one side, we create the companies that they do have the proof of sales. And if a company has a proof of sales, it's much easier to do capital raising. In my life, I did capital raising. I had raised more than 700 million euro, and I know that if you have the idea and if you have the capability to execute it, the money is not the problem. The thing is to have the capability and the idea and just go outside and sell it. So that's what I'm trying to sell today. Invest in the Greek paradox. Thank you very much.